Welcome to the lounge. My name is Toby Roydell, and today we will answer the question of how to life. Or at least a part of it. I promised you deep talk, you receive deep talk. A really good comment from one of my last videos about inspiration actually gave me the inspiration for today's topic. What a coincidence. That is why a fruitful discussion, fruitful is a word, okay? That's why a fruitful discussion and feedback are very helpful. I would say it's quite easy to say what a bad life is or what a bad way of living life is, and probably most people have a good idea of what that would look like for them, because it could be quite individual what a bad life would look like, but probably everyone has a good perspective on that. And I could make probably many videos about what you could do wrong or what could happen. Full of violence, drug abuse, bad friends, bad behavior, poor life choices. There are lots and lots. But talking about what could go wrong doesn't really help anyone, does it? I mean, it can act as an eye-opener if people need that. Then it's effective again. But in general, just from the perspective of someone who doesn't have this kind of issues, it's like pointing to those people who struggle. And that's not helpful and not very nice. But what can we say then? If we ask, how should I life? I don't think it needs to be said, but we'll still do it. Topics like these contain a fair share of subjective ideas. Many other people have it's perfectly fine when many people have different opinions here and there. And everyone who claims to being entirely neutral is just a dirty little liar, or just not the smartest book in the shelf. My idea of today can be summarized in one sentence. Be liberal in the micro, be conservative in the macro. For everyone who says I already have enough because you talked about liberal and conservative, my name is Toby Roydell, and I hope to see you again next time here in my lounge. For everyone who says, let this man finish first, here is what I mean. Being liberal in the micro and conservative in the macro is one way of approaching life, if you will. It is a really low-risk approach because it avoids conflict in the micro, and it combines itself with a quite low risk in the big scheme of things. It's a very low risk strategy, if you will, and that suits many people. That's why many people in a country follow this kind of route. And I will explain what it actually means. So let's break it down. Liberal in the micro means that you can change and have an impact on your immediate surrounding. Your family, your friends, the cousins, and those you still know from school, for example. Being liberal, open, respectful, and helpful can change the lives of people around you. You can have an impact on people by supporting those you deem worthy. Spend time with them, in the good and the bad. When someone seeks you for advice with something like, hey Toby, I've listened to myself. I went deep inside of myself, and I came to the conclusion that from now on I'm just Joanne and not John anymore. And then it's your part, with the concept of being liberal in the micro, that you respect this decision. And I would respect that decision, because it takes a lot of courage for her to come out with this and to approach other people with this, which is hard. And because it takes such a high amount of courage to take a step like that, and there are many examples of those, I just chose one, it would be insanely disrespectful and against the integrity of that person to stay in your little world and just say, no, I've known you since we were small as John, you stay John. Done with that. That's not the way. So all in all, tolerance, friendliness, and acceptance are major parts of being liberal in the micro. It also helps with your own positivity, because being liberal, when you're liberal, you tend to be less offended by many things, And so the TLDR of being liberal is just to being cool with a lot of things and to be fine with a bunch of things in the micro. So the second part, conservative in the macro, means that we accept the concept of large-scale things are way too complex for us to comprehend. So a simple one punchline solution just doesn't do it. That's the underlying fact that we probably have to accept. Let's do a little example to get the grip of that. Being liberal in the micro could mean that I take in or actively help a refugee or a refugee family because my moral obligation tells me to. And it's something that I feel that I can do and want to do to help the people around me in my immediate area. On the other hand, the large-scale option would be that a country says, yeah, a million refugees, let's take them in. I'm not saying here what is the right choice or what is the wrong choice. I just want to point out that the same thing on a larger scale could lead to issues that we didn't think could happen and that they can lead to problems. Being conservative in the macro simply means that we tend to be more careful with large-scale decisions, mostly for our own protection. If you like the video, however, you could press the red button down below and check out the thumbs up button, my favorite one. And if you didn't like today's videos, you can check out the thumbs up button because it's still my favorite one. My name is Toby Roydell and I hope to see you again next time here in my lounge.